Welcome to the final episode of Chasing Sub 3 Hours. So today we're just going to go through a little breakdown of how my race went on the day. I'll also give you a little bit of a comparison on how the year before race went, so you can just see how I managed to cut down my personal best from about 3 hours and 15 minutes to sub 3 hours. So first we'll jump into last year's race. This is where I got about 3 hours and 15 minutes and 14 seconds. On this day, you'll be able to see I stayed pretty steady the whole time. We're just clocking off the Ks, making it look pretty easy, to be honest, on that first marathon. I did do a good chunk of training for that, so I did feel prepared that I was going to be around about that 3 hours 15 and 3 hours and 20 minutes. I was pretty lucky that I had a good friend of mine who was going out to go sub 3 hours and 15 minutes. So I just stayed with them the whole time. We stayed in a pack, which made the race a lot easier. If you've ever been in a race and you're out on your own, it just feels 10 times harder if you can't get into a group or into a rhythm or anything like that. It just makes life a lot easier. But yeah, you'll see pretty much stayed consistent the whole time. And then you'll see at about K 39, I hit the wall a little bit, just fell off the pace, just felt like I was using everything to just hold that. And then yeah, came home strong a little bit and managed to get about 3 hours 15 and 14 seconds.
It's 5 a.m. here. Morning of the race, feeling pretty nervous. Stomach's a bit all over the place. It's obviously the nerves. Struggling to get some food down here, but we'll get it done. But yeah, should be good. Let's get it.
Anyway, we'll jump into the sub 3 hour race, the big one, the one we've been training for about 4 months for. So we definitely put in the work to get this done. I stayed pretty consistent the whole time. The weather on the day, it was a pretty good day for racing. In all honesty, near perfect day, apart from the back half of the marathon where it got very windy. But yeah, at the start, we're feeling good, definitely nervous. Also had my dad running his first ever marathon, which was pretty awesome to see. So we were there together at the start line. And yeah, had some friends and family there out to support. Anyway, into the race here. So you can see we stayed pretty consistent on the day. We started out right on pace. That was my goal the whole time. I knew I maybe had a little bit more in me if I wanted to go out at about 4:08s or anything like that. But speaking with Don, the man who coached me through this whole block, our goal was just to break the sub 3 hours. So we just wanted to stay consistent on that goal. So only thing I wanted to do was just clock off 4-minute 15 Ks the whole time. There was also a 3 hour pacer. So what I was going to do is just stay in front of them, probably about 20 to 50 meters the whole time. That was the goal in theory. Got through 5K in 21 minutes and 12 seconds. Just throughout this also, I'll put up a couple photos from the day just so you can see what it was like and what the course conditions were like and the crowd and everything like that. I don't have too many clips, unfortunately, from the day. Didn't film with my GoPro or anything like that. But yeah, started the race perfect. Couldn't have been more happy on how I was doing that. So you'll see with 10K, got through in 42 minutes and 17 seconds, so stayed consistent on those 4:15 average pace per K. In regards to nutrition as well, I did have my partner who was standing on the track. It was 4 loops of a 10.5K loop. So she was just at one section just handing me bottles every lap. Just made it that little bit easier. And then I had certain markers where I was going to have a gel. So I had a bottle of pure sports carb and electrolyte mix. It was about, I think, 30 grams of carbs in it, just under, and then I was just topping up on gels. So I was seeing her at the same spot every lap, grab a bottle, have as much as I can, and if I didn't finish it, had extra gels with me in my pockets just in case of emergency. And then I also topped up on a couple salt tablets throughout the race. So yeah, jump back in, get to about 15k. We're still on track, 4:15 per k pace, just staying on that the whole time. And then you'll see on K19, I have a little bit of an issue. You'll see I have a much slower K there. The reason that is on my shoes, I was a little bit nervous on the day. So at the start, I think I just tied up one of my laces way too tight, and it was just cutting off the circulation in my foot. I was trying to grip my teeth and just keep running through it, but at K19, I just had enough. It was too much and the pain was getting pretty unbearable. So what I did is I had to stop. And unfortunately, with the shoes that I used, they have very long laces. So I had them triple knotted. And what that meant was when I was trying to undo my laces, it was a lot harder than it usually would be. And then I was in a bit of a panic, so I was trying to tighten them back up quickly, and it just took quite a long time. And then you'll see for the next 4 or 5k, I stayed very consistent, just stayed on pace. I was pretty confident the whole time on getting that pace. When I did stop, I had to, obviously the 3-hour pacer went by me, so I had to sprint past them and just stay in front. That was just the plan, just to stay in front of that 3-hour pacer the whole time and stay steady. So from about K21 onwards, the wind was getting pretty strong, and if you weren't latching onto a pack or anything like that, some sections were getting very hard to just hold pace, so you're using a lot of energy just to clock off those Ks. But yeah, anyway, I get onto my last lap at about 30k, shoelace comes undone. I start thinking, can I stop or should I stop to retire and lose another 30 seconds to 40 seconds again? Can I afford that? That's what's really playing in my mind. Nutrition was going well, but just these shoelace issue just kept repeating in my head, and it just felt like I couldn't get away from it. So I made the decision to have a very quick stop, and I just tucked my laces into my shoe and left the shoe, it was very loose because obviously it's not tied up. And then I was like, I'll just finish the last 11k like this and just get it done. By this time, the wind really had picked up a lot. So you're just trying to hold on, just hold that pace. I could see at a few points there's a turnaround, so I could see where the 3-hour pacer was, and I knew I was still in front of it and feeling pretty good that I was going to stay in front the whole time. But yeah, on that last lap, I'll put a few photos or clips in hopefully, and you can see I'm looking a little bit worse for wear, but yeah, still feeling pretty smooth. We get through 36k. See, I'm going a little bit slower there, 4:17k pace, but we grit our teeth, get it back, keep ticking off some Ks. And then we get to about lap 40, and I look down at my watch and I'm thinking, just doing the maths a little bit, oh, I'm getting a little bit close on the sub 3 hour here. But I didn't really have much left in the legs at this point, so I just had to click off what I could do and just stay consistent. And then we come down, I think there's a finishing straight, but before that you come to a grass corner, and I remember hearing someone that the clock was getting close to 3 hours. And then at this point I was like, I've just got to let it all out. There's about a 200 meter sprint finish on the grass, I think it was, or maybe a little bit less. And I just did the quickest 200 meters I think I could ever do after running 42k. And I just left it all out there. I'll put a clip in here, you should be able to see. I'm just leaving it all out there, make sure I get that sub 3 hours. And then I end up crossing the line in 2 hours and 59 minutes and 28 seconds. So I had 32 seconds to spare to make that goal. Very happy at how the day went. Couldn't have gone much perfect than that. We set out the goal, sub 3 hours, we got it done. I ended up 87th overall out of 957, or if you're just looking at male, you're looking at 83 out of 724. And then in my age category, I came 61st out of 446. Can see on my last lap, it was my quickest, and I actually made up quite a few places. So I was in about 109th on the third lap. And then when I'd finished, I was 87th. So I made up 22 places on that last lap. And definitely going down the straight, you'll see in the video, I ended up passing about a group of 5 guys, I think it was, that were there. But yeah, left it all out there, and shows that I definitely had the legs, and maybe the legs for a little bit more on it. Yeah, on the day, very happy. Here's the big medal. But yeah, happy days, got it done. And another good thing to note is my dad was still out on track. So once I finished up my marathon, I went out back on track to support him, and I managed to rally myself to help him finish the last 5K of his race. And then he came in at 5 hours and 22 minutes, I think it was. It was his first ever marathon, and he's age 69. Unreal achievement, and pretty awesome to see that. It's pretty inspirational to see him just grit through it and just finish it. So he was pretty happy, and all round, great day. And yeah, don't know what's next on the cards. It is my 30th birthday next month, so I am doing a 30-mile run for my 30th. So about 48 Ks. I think we'll probably round up to 50 Ks. So but yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning in on the journey that we did for sub 3 hours. It was a big commitment. I did 4 months of work. I think it was something like 1,200 to 1,400 Ks all up in training. Might be a little less, but I think it was around that ballpark, because I did start pre-Christmas just to start building up the Ks and everything like that. I think a big thing I can put it down to was my coach Don and the DGRS squad that helped me out on those sessions every week on a Wednesday and Saturday, and then Don just guiding me through the workouts and setting out the plan each week. The big change from my first marathon that I did, when I did the 3 hours 15 minutes, this one, it was definitely the mileage. So I was putting in almost double the mileage. So I think at my peak weeks, about 120 Ks. But yeah, I averaged for the whole block probably about 100 to 105 Ks. Much higher than what I was doing before. For the first marathon, I think I was doing about 50 to 60 Ks, and might have peaked out 1 week at 70 potentially. And I thought that was an absolute slog. So it's pretty crazy to see how far you can come in 12 months of just consistency. And obviously I was lucky to stay injury free. That's also half the battle. But I was pretty committed to some of my recovery stuff every night, just rolling on the roller every night for 10 minutes and then doing a small stretching routine for 10 minutes. Doesn't sound like much, but it does help every day, just doing those little things, making sure you're sleeping well, stretching and doing that recovery stuff. But yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll maybe have couple more videos on just some random things. I'll try film some stuff for my 30 miles for 30 years old next month. But yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in, and feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you on the next one.